All right, we are live.
Hey everybody, Hesperia Junior High family, Roadrunners, we are live. Are you guys ready to do this? Anybody out there joining us? For those of you that don't know who we are, I'm Faisal Bell. I'm your principal, friendly neighborhood principal, as I like to say.
I'm Jennifer Calderon. I am your assistant principal.
Mr. Jones, vice principal.
Cindy Walker, the instructional coach at Hesperia Junior.
And I am Melissa King, one of the teachers at Hesperia Junior.
Yay. Oh, yes. Yes, we have people. They're commenting. We have one on YouTube and one on Facebook. Awesome. Well, we have 13 viewers, so we're doing good.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We wish we could have you guys out here live and party and hang out and get to know you all, but we'll be doing that as soon as we get the okay, right?
All right. So, what our night consists of tonight, day one, is we're going to go over Zoom and ways in which your child can get on there safely and have their name work, as opposed to not working and having like an ID number or an actual name. That's what we want. So Miss Walker is going to walk us through that. And then Miss King is going to go ahead and allow us to get a sneak preview of Google Meet if your child has those live meetings in their classes. So good to see everybody. People are commenting. Hello. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute myself, actually take myself out of the equation. Mr. Bell is available on here if we do need to clarify anything in Spanish. And Mr. Jones is just a wizard, so he's going to help us with everything. So I'm going to go ahead and let Miss Walker take over and get started on our training. And if you guys do have questions, feel free to chat, make comments in Facebook. If you're using YouTube, you can do the same thing and we'll be able to see them on our side. So let's go ahead and get started.
Ms. Calderon, I'd like to just ask in Spanish que si necesitan que hablemos en español, cuando la señorita Walker o la señorita King terminen de hablar, si necesitan, pregunten en las redes sociales de YouTube o Facebook y les podemos ayudar. Si no me preguntan, si no necesitan que les traduzca o que les hable en español, no les voy a hablar. Yo también voy a apagar mi micrófono. I'm going to turn off my mic. If you all don't need any translation, I will just sit here quietly and smile. If you need anything, let us know.
Awesome. Okay, so Miss Walker, if you want to share your screen, I can go ahead and do that.
I will do that. So I'm going to share a video that was created with a teacher walking a student through signing up with Zoom through the Zoom website. So I'll just let this play, and then we will be available to answer any questions you have about the video.
Cindy, there's no sound coming from the video.
Oh, no.
So when you share your screen, as you're picking which tab to push, there's this button that says audio. Let's go ahead. I'm going to remove this real quick and then go ahead and pick your slide or your tab again. Sorry,
Okay.
we're having technical difficulties.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, hi, Akamshara. I miss you so much. Oh, I love you.
Okay. Are you good, Cindy? Was there an audio button?
I do not see an audio button.
So when you're selecting which tab or which part to screencast, there should be a button that says that. No, not popping up.
Okay, let me try this again.
Belle, there's a comment in the chat.
Sí, la señorita Walker va a enseñar un video que les va a enseñar a ustedes cómo usar el programa Zoom. Ahorita tenemos problemas técnicos. La señorita Calderón está explicando cómo poner el audio para que se pueda oír un poco más recio porque no teníamos, no se podía oír lo que estaba diciendo la señorita.
Sorry, I'm opening window.
I just explained what is going on right now.
Okay, as we're seeing some comments in there, we're troubleshooting this. There was a problem today about blocking kids out. So Google and Zoom and some powers that may be that are way higher than us, they had issues today. So students did have issues with Zoom. That was something that we were aware of and trying to troubleshoot on our end. It just hopefully got resolved today, and then tomorrow will be better, hopefully.
There were several schools that started today. And of course, they're all using these platforms. So,
yeah. All right, Cindy, did it work?
Okay.
Let's see if I can pull it up. We try it again.
I'll try. Yeah, let me see if I can. I'll try again. But I'm not seeing a button that says audio.
No, there's not one. Okay.
No, it just says share.
Do bits and pieces of the video and just tell them what they're going to, the website, that kind of thing.
So if I share the video, can I talk? Like, will people be able to hear me?
Yes, they'll be able to hear you. I'll go ahead and mute myself as well. And then you can pause the video and control it. And then that way they can go ahead and do it on their end.
Cindy,
yeah.
When we're done with the video and you're going through a tutorial, I'm going to speak in Spanish directly after you're done. So just give me a few seconds to say what you're saying in English and Spanish.
Okay. Okay.
Le expliqué a la señorita Walker que cuando ella esté hablando, está dando tutoría de cómo usar el programa Zoom. Cuando ella termine de hablar, yo voy a hablar en español para que ustedes entiendan y me van a perdonar porque mi español está bueno, pero hay palabras técnicas que no las sé cómo decir. O sea, tal vez las tenga que decir en inglés, pero me van a perdonar, por favor.
All right. So the first step is to have your student go to zoom.us.
Lo primero que se tiene que hacer es que tenemos que tener a los alumnos en las redes sociales o en internet y tienen que ir a zoom.us.
And then they're going to click on sign in the upper right-hand corner.
Cuando terminen, van a venir aquí a la arriba a la derecha donde dice sign in.
And then scroll down and make sure they hit sign in with Google.
Y van a irse hacia abajo y tienen que escoger sign in con Google.
And then they'll create an account for the first time.
La primera vez que el alumno use este programa van a tener que crear una cuenta y esta se mira aquí en este lado.
And they'll want to consolidate into account, this option right here.
Cuando les pregunte el programa, quieren usar esta opción aquí, pues donde pueden ellos consolidar, combinar las cuentas de Zoom y Google.
And then they'll click sign in with Google again.
Les va a preguntar el programa otra vez que si quieren usar Google y escogen esa opción otra vez.
And then just to make sure that that the student is signed in with their Google account, they'll go up and click on profile.
Para estar seguros que el alumno o la alumna estén bien con el programa Zoom, que tengan su cuenta, usan esta opción en azul aquí.
And then they should see their avatar and their name right here.
Cuando tengan la cuenta ya hecha, deben de ver su foto que ellos escogieron aquí y el nombre del alumno aquí.
And then they will, every time they log into Zoom, they should log in through their account now automatically.
Entonces, de ese punto en adelante, cuando el alumno use Zoom, el programa, automáticamente están con la cuenta, el programa automáticamente los reconoce. So we have a couple questions. Are you guys okay if I answer those questions? So we have some people, somebody asked about the issue with hearing teachers on Zoom. The district is aware of that, and they are working that out. Some of our Chromebooks, as they're updated, have been having issues, but that is being worked on. La pregunta que nos hicieron es que por qué hay unos alumnos que no pueden oír o escuchar a los maestros cuando están usando Zoom. Y les estamos explicando que el viernes le hablamos a los oficiales del distrito que se encargan con la tecnología y están trabajando a resolver esos problemas. En veces cuando los Chromebooks se les hace el update, el programa tiene a veces problemas con programas como Zoom o cosas así, entonces ellos ya están tratando de resolver ese problema.
Awesome.
Okay.
So we were asking, just in general, are there any questions in regards to Zoom that you might have? If you do have any questions specifically on Zoom, go ahead and ask within the chat for us, and then we can go ahead and give you some clarity.
Angela Carla Canton is asking about her son having issues logging on to Zoom and having issues logging on. So, la señorita Cantuna preguntó que por qué su niño está teniendo problemas metiéndose usando el Zoom. Quizás lo que les explicamos hoy le ayude, señora. Y si no le ayuda, if that doesn't help, please contact us and let us know. Perdón, si no le ayude, señorita, por favor avísenos y a ver si le podemos ayudar.
So people are asking about attendance. Okay, so we're actually going to address attendance tomorrow. I know it's not the best way to do attendance. However, based off of COVID, there is a specific way that our district is doing attendance, but we will go over that tomorrow. Tonight's platform is strictly just Zoom and Meet, just to make sure the kids are okay getting on to the live platform. All right, are there any other questions in regards to Zoom? Cindy will be with us for the remainder of the time. So if there is a question that pops up, maybe we can get her back on here to show us if we need it. Do we need to install the app onto the desktop? If you're not using a Chromebook, then yes, you would. And you would have to make sure that you're signing into the student's Gmail account for school, so their ID number at husdstudent.com. You would then have to download the program. If you're using their Chromebook, the extension will automatically download upon the first time that the student uses it. So you shouldn't have any problems after that.
Were you responding to Zulema Miramontes?
Correct.
La señorita Miramontes preguntó que si tienen que instalar la aplicación de Zoom en el desktop. Y la señorita Calderón explicó que sí, tienen que instalar esa aplicación en... you're talking about their Chromebooks, correct?
Correct. But if they're using their own device, then it's going to require them to download it.
So if they're using their own device, they have to download it. If they're using the Chromebook, the answer is no.
It'll download temporarily, but it's just an extension.
El Chromebook, si los niños están usando los Chromebooks, no se tiene que bajar de la red el programa de Zoom, automáticamente se debe de bajar. Si el alumno está usando una computadora de casa, una computadora de ellos propia, sí tienen que poner esa aplicación en la hard drive en desktop de la computadora.
Awesome. All right, so I think we're going to go over to Meet, Google Meet with Miss King. Mrs. King, sorry, my bad.
Okay, so if your teacher or one of your teachers is using Google Meet, then I'm going to share my screen and show you how to access the link.
Si uno de sus maestros está usando Google en un Zoom, la señorita King les va a enseñar cómo usar Google Meet.
All right, so this is one of my courses. And when you go to the top, you see this link up here. That is what most teachers use. So instead of posting for Google Meet, the student would just go ahead and click on that link right there. You'll notice that in it, it says look up. So if you have a link that says look up that they want you to use, or if they say use the look up link, that's on Google Classroom.
Si se dan cuenta, esta es una de mis clases digitales. La mayoría de los maestros están usando esta link aquí y el alumno cuando abra la clase digital va a ver esta link aquí que dice google.com/lookup. Esta es la link donde ellos van a cliquear para usar Google Meet.
There is one more way that students might be asked to get on. Probably most of them are telling them to use that link, but there is another way. And if you go to meet.google, or you can go over to your waffle, which is in the corner, and you go to Meet, and then you can actually click and insert a nickname. So if the student said it has a teacher saying, go to this specific code or this specific nickname, that's how you would do it that way. But most teachers are probably going to use this.
La segunda manera de poder meterse en clases digitales es si una maestra o el maestro les han dado un nombre de esa clase a los alumnos o un código. Ms. King, can you go back to that option, please?
Yes.
See, and how did you get there, Ms. King?
So when you go to meet.google.com and then you hit join.
Hay unos maestros que quizás le han dado este nombre aquí, meet.google.com, a los alumnos. En esa ocasión, si los maestros les dieron ese código digital, entonces ellos pueden poner el nombre de la clase aquí donde dice join or start a meeting, y entonces ese nombre o ese código de clase los llevan a las clases digitales.
Okay, so I believe that Mr. Jones is going to try to get on with me. So I'm going to use this link right here to get to it. And
el señor Jones va a ayudarle a meterse a su clase digital para darles un ejemplo.
And the teacher has to open Google Meet in order for the students to be able to enter, and that's for safety reasons.
El maestro o la maestra tienen que abrir Google Meets antes de que los alumnos se puedan meter. Por ejemplo, si un alumno llega antes de que la clase comience, digamos, no van a poder meterse a Google Meets porque la maestra o el maestro tienen que darles permiso. Y eso se hace por razones de safety, ¿no? Para mantener el ambiente limpio y sin problemas.
And then once you're in the call, you would be able to do a few things. Not everyone has these extensions that I have up here, but a teacher might ask you to download them.
Ya cuando se metan a la clase se van a dar cuenta que quizás tenga aquí donde está en medio el nombre del alumno, una letra indicando el nombre del alumno o tal vez foto del alumno. Hay unos maestros o maestras que quizás quieran que los alumnos pongan estas fotos aquí, como una mano con dedo para arriba o un alumno levantando la mano. En esta ocasión, el alumno puede bajar esas fotos o esas aplicaciones de las redes sociales o del internet. Y esas se usan, I'm going to explain what those icons are used for, just give me a second. Esas se usan para que los alumnos indiquen que quieren preguntar algo o que están de acuerdo con algo.
Okay, so what everyone will have is the ability to see the participants and the ability to use the chat. So just like on Zoom, there is a chat. So maybe Mr. Jones, you could give a shout out.
Aquí en este lado, aquí arriba a la derecha, se van a dar cuenta que hay una foto como con una cajita que dice chat. Ahí es donde ustedes, los alumnos, pueden tocar ahí, pueden abrir una cajita para que ellos puedan poner su pregunta y mandárselo a la maestra. O sea, si la maestra o el maestro les está hablando y no entienden algo, ellos pueden poner sus preguntas ahí.
Then everyone, when you move the mouse, everyone does have this bar down here as well, which allows you to mute your mic, turn off your camera, and turn on your camera. End the call. You can also turn off the captions, which would then show your student if they have a disability where that could really help them. The captions work really well. Sometimes the teachers allow you to present your screen, so that's where you would find that. And then the 3 dots have other controls as well.
Se van a dar cuenta que aquí abajo de esta aplicación tienen diferentes botones. Este botón aquí a la izquierda que parece micrófono es donde pueden ustedes prender y apagar los micrófonos. Por ejemplo, si ahorita como se dieron cuenta que se oyó como que tenía un eco, como que estaba muy recio, es porque teníamos otro micrófono prendido. Entonces, el problema es que si todos los alumnos tienen su micrófono prendido, puede causar problemas a que no se pueda oír bien. Entonces, aquí pueden prenderlo o apagarlo. Esta foto aquí que parece como teléfono es donde el alumno o ustedes pueden tocar ese botón y entonces se salen de la llamada. Es como colgar la llamada en cualquier teléfono. Esta foto aquí que parece cámara es exactamente eso. Es la cámara de la computadora. Entonces, si ustedes tocan esa cámara, les apaga la cámara. Digamos, el alumno tiene que estornudar o tiene que hacer algo, pueden apagar ellos su cámara, hacer lo que tienen que hacer y regresar a la clase para que los otros alumnos o la maestra no los pueda ver, digamos, estornudando, tosiendo, lo que sea. Aquí ese botón que tiene las 2 Cs, que quiere decir Closed Caption, si ustedes tienen alumnos o si ustedes mismos tienen problemas de oír, una disability, pueden ustedes usar ese botón para poder ver todo lo que estamos diciendo en escrito. Pueden apagar esa opción también ahí. Present Now, esta foto aquí que tiene la caja como con una flecha, eso quiere decir que ustedes pueden, si la maestra le dice al alumno, presenta lo que estás viendo ahorita, ellos pueden tocar ese botón y la maestra puede ver lo que la computadora del alumno están haciendo, lo que ellos están haciendo en su computadora para poder ayudarles.
And one thing to note is that just because you're on a call, if a teacher's asking you to multitask, you can definitely go between tabs. So you can click around and still be on the call, but just not see everyone. And then if students know how to kind of drag it out, I can't show you on this view, but you can actually separate those tabs and have 2 screens showing at once so that students can see the activity and also see their class.
Ms. King, can you go over that one more time, please?
Yes.
Le pregunté a la señorita King que repitiera las instrucciones.
Yes. When you're in a meeting, you don't have to stay on the meeting screen. So you can actually, I'm still in this call and Mr. Jones can still hear me, but I'm able to click a tab on top and still see the other screen. So if they're collaborating or if they're working on something or if they're taking notes, you can still navigate away from it and I'm still on this call.
Lo que la señorita explicó es que en veces si los alumnos están en clase y las maestras o los maestros les preguntan que vayan a otra página electrónica, ellos se van a dar cuenta que aquí arriba tienen páginas múltiples. Entonces lo que le explicó es que si el alumno toca otra página digital, todavía se mantiene en la llamada, no va a perder la conexión con la llamada y va a poder ver la otra página digital que la maestra o el maestro quieren que ellos usen.
I would like to show students how to split screen because it's really useful. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, but I'm going to share my whole screen. Do you
Ahorita
think
les voy a enseñar mi computadora o la página digital.
I'm going to share my entire screen here. Okay. So on a Chromebook, it's a little bit different.
En un Chromebook es un poquito diferente, pero no totalmente.
On a Chromebook, you don't have this over here. You have kind of that X where you can minimize and maximize your desktop screens.
Estos botones aquí a la izquierda se van a ver un poquito diferentes dependiendo en qué estén usando, Chromebook o computadora. Quizás sea una X o una minus sign o un plus sign.
Mm-hmm. But you would still be able to pull out. So I'm clicking and I'm dragging, and you should be able to see my whole screen by what I just did. Are you guys still seeing my whole screen?
Por ejemplo, ¿pueden ver lo que estoy haciendo? Los alumnos pueden hacer lo mismo cuando están usando la llamada. Por ejemplo, la señorita King ahorita está en la llamada y pudo tocar una de esas aplicaciones o páginas electrónicas, perdón, y pudo moverla para un lado, y lo que está haciendo ahorita es que está enseñando que esas aplicaciones o esas páginas las puede hacer chiquitas para tener dos como ventanillas, digamos, en la computadora, y pueden hacer las dos cosas al mismo tiempo.
So this is allowing me to see my class, and then if my teacher is telling me, go to Google Classroom and go down to this assignment, then I can still see the chat, I can still see the class, but then I'm also able to look at my Google Classroom at the same time. So all I did was shrink my windows, I clicked and I drug them out, and then I just expanded them and just made them smaller according to how I wanted to view it.
Entonces, esa opción lo que les está enseñando es, por si acaso la maestra o el maestro les dice que quieren que tengan la página digital abierta y también la página digital de la clase abierta. Entonces, lo que los alumnos pueden hacer es chiquitar esas páginas y usarlas al mismo tiempo para poder ver lo que la maestra o el maestro está hablando o lo que les está explicando, y también poder ver a la página digital donde tienen esa información.
And this did work for Zoom as well. So this tip is for really both of them.
Y esta función de tener dos páginas digitales abiertas al mismo tiempo también trabaja con el programa Zoom como con el programa Google Meets.
And I think that that's all I had for Google Meet, unless we have any questions.
Yes, if you have any questions for Google Meet.
Esa es la mayoría de las funciones que tiene Google Meets, y hemos terminado con la sesión de Google Meets. Si tienen algunas preguntas. Do you have any questions, Ms. Calderon? I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, you're good. I just wanted to clarify a couple things. People are asking, I know there have been issues with finding some Zoom links, or maybe knowing where to access the Google Meet links and things like that. I would just encourage you to reach out to the teachers. Obviously, that's going to be the first thing that we ask you to do. I saw in one of the messages, people were saying that sometimes the email goes unresponded. Just let us know, reach out to our office staff, and even our emails are found on our distance learning website. You're more than welcome to let us know too. We do respond on social media, so if you want to reach out to us in whichever platform is convenient for you, let us know. And then we'll be sure to make sure we're in contact with them as well. I don't know if you want to repeat that in Spanish, sir.
La señorita está explicando que nos preguntaron varias veces aquí que hay unos alumnos que han tenido problema encontrando los nombres de las clases o los códigos de las clases, y que varias veces les han mandado enviados electrónicos a los maestros y no les han dado respuestas, o no responden inmediatamente o rápidamente. En esa ocasión, por favor, llamen a la escuela aquí, pregunten si necesitan ayuda en español, nos preguntan y aquí podemos ayudarles, mandarles enviados o llamar a los maestros. También pueden buscar nuestras redes sociales. Mucha gente se comunica con nosotros en las redes sociales y así les podemos ayudar también.
And I do want to say, in regards to students who are abusing, I would say Zoom a little bit more so than Google Meet. just make sure your child is using their full name to log in. What we see on Infinite Campus is what the teachers are going to, who they're going to allow within their Zoom meeting. So we want to make sure that the students are using their appropriate name, their legal name, to get into their meetings and not necessarily popping out, coming back in. I know there's connectivity issues based off people's internet, but just make sure your child is on there for the duration. That's going to help the teacher get a feel of, what the students need to know, as well as delivering instruction. So I just kind of wanted to give that little bit of advice just in regards to students using the programs, either Zoom or Google Meet.
Entonces, cuando los alumnos estén usando Google Meet o Zoom, lo que les preguntamos es que estén seguros que nuestros Roadrunners estén usando sus nombres propios. Primer nombre, segundo nombre. Porque muchas veces eso es para estar seguros quiénes son los alumnos que están en la clase. Safety reasons, ¿no? Para estar seguros que todo esté limpio y que todo esté sano para nuestros alumnos.
All right, so we're actually going to go back into Zoom really quick, just so they can kind of see the chat features as well, along with maybe how to share their screen if you're using Zoom. So we're going to go back to Zoom, just so you know, as you're watching this video. No worries.
Vamos a regresar al programa Zoom. No se preocupen, solo para enseñarles unos trucos que se puede hacer con Zoom también.
All right, whenever you're ready. Just let me know.
All right, so I'm going to, am I still muted?
No, you're on.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen, and I just launched a Zoom, and I'll show you the different features that your student may be using.
Empecé un nuevo Zoom y se los voy a enseñar para que ustedes miren algunas de las cosas que los alumnos estén posiblemente usando en clase.
Okay. So if your student hovers down towards the bottom, a couple of things they can do. Their teachers may ask them to chat, so they would just click on the chat button, and then they could chat inside this link.
Give me a second,
And some
Cindy.
teachers...
No worries. Si la maestra o el maestro les pregunta a los alumnos en Zoom que quiere platicar con ellos, se va a usar aquí esta foto donde dice chat, parece como una cajita, y ahí es donde ellos van a cliquear y pueden empezar a platicar con la maestra o otros alumnos.
And some teachers may ask students for reactions. And so there's this button right here that they can click on, and this will show up on the teacher's
Las
screen
maestras o los
student gives a
maestros
thumbs up.
tal vez les pregunten a los alumnos por reacciones. Esta foto aquí abajo básicamente dice reacción, y ahí los alumnos pueden clicar ahí y escoger la reacción, si están de acuerdo, si no están de acuerdo, si le entendieron a la maestra, para no tener que estar hablando constantemente.
And one other spot where students can give some reactions would be if they click on participants and this window pops up.
Pueden poner reacciones, y es donde la foto que dice participantes o participants, y eso les enseña, los lleva a esta caja.
So if a teacher asks questions, students can
Por ejemplo, si los
put one
maestros
of these.
preguntan si están de acuerdo con algo, si entienden, ellos pueden poner sí, no, y también por eso es importante que los alumnos usen el nombre propio, primero nombre, segundo nombre, porque cuando los maestros miran a esos nombres o miran a las reacciones, ellos saben qué alumnos necesitan ayuda y qué alumnos entienden. So I explained that that's another reason why it's important to use their first and last name, so that our teachers can see who needs help, who doesn't need help, as opposed to trying to figure out what their names that they've created were.
Yes,
Cindy, right
perfect.
there, can you show them in the participants that if their name is not changed, even in a meeting, that you can change your name?
Okay, so over here where it says
Por
more, and
ejemplo,
you can rename
si
yourself.
ustedes se dan cuenta que su alumno, su hijo o hija tiene diferente nombre, pueden decirles que vayan a esta foto donde dice participantes o participants, y como les va a dar esta caja aquí, si ustedes miran aquí donde dice more o más, cliquean ahí y ahí les va a dar la opción a poder cambiar el nombre.
All right, thank you. And one last thing, if the teacher is allowing students to share their screen, this would be the button that they would
Si la
hit in
maestra o
order
el
to share
maestro
their
les he
screen.
preguntado a que compartan el screen de su computadora para que les enseñen a los otros alumnos qué es lo que están usando o en qué están trabajando, es esa foto aquí, el botón que dice Screen Share, que básicamente quiere decir compartir mi screen o mi pantalla.
And are there any other questions about the tools that you can use in Zoom?
¿Hay algunas otras preguntas?
I think we're good so far. I think we're caught up on the chat, but if they have any questions, we'll stay on here for a couple minutes. Mr. Jones, is there anything you want to add just in regards to maybe some etiquette while on their Zoom meetings and things like that that's come across our office?
Absolutely. I would say when a student is on Zoom or Google Meets that they realize that it is the classroom. And so treating everyone with respect, the teachers and other students, is definitely a necessity. Also putting the proper name in that screen as your name is very important for those teachers who are taking participation points or giving students credit for being there to make sure they get the grade that they deserve. And then just keeping on top of the students and making sure that they're, spending as much time on with the teacher as possible and doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Jones, give me a second to translate. La pregunta era, la señorita Calderón le preguntó al señor Jones que si tenía como unas lecciones para platicarle a los alumnos de cómo usar las aplicaciones como Zoom o Google Meets. Y básicamente los consejos que le damos a los alumnos es que se comporten como que están aquí en la escuela, ¿no? Es la misma cosa, solo que están en su casa. Que se comporten igual como estén aquí en la escuela usando lenguaje normal, profesional, y que se comporten como que ustedes los están viendo y como que están aquí en la escuela. What else did you say, Mr. Jones?
The only other thing I'd like to add, because I don't know what you reflect, was sometimes the teachers will put the link to the Zoom or the Google Meets under classwork as well. I don't think we covered that. So if, that's another place that the parents can or the student can check to make sure that they're finding those links.
Otra vez con el consejo que estemos seguros que nuestros alumnos estén usando el primer nombre, el segundo nombre, el apellido, porque también puede ayudarnos a nosotros si tenemos que investigar quién dijo, quién fue, qué pasó. También que estén al pendiente que hay unos maestros que pueden poner los códigos de las clases bajo el classwork. Y ahí puede ser que también puedan encontrar los códigos para las clases electrónicas.
Awesome. I don't see any other questions, but if we want to just make sure we talk about tomorrow, we'll be going over Infinite Campus, what it looks like on the student side, what it looks like on the parent side, as well as maybe even a student side. We'll just show all the parameters of Infinite Campus tomorrow. I know there is some concern just in regards to attendance, so we'll be answering all those questions and what it looks like from our side and verifying attendance. I know it's not ideal, but we're going to get through this, so we'll talk about that and figure out ways in which we can help you with Infinite Campus. And then we're also going to go over Google Classroom. So if you guys have questions on how to navigate what your student looks at and how they're turning in work to make sure they are doing their assignments, we'll go over that as well. Do you want to translate that, Belle? Are you good? Oh, you're on mute.
Mañana vamos a enseñar cómo usar Infinite Campus y cómo se hace attendance y por qué tenemos que hacer el attendance así. No es ideal, obviamente estamos en tiempos que todos estamos aprendiendo cómo hacer, pero mañana les enseñamos Infinite Campus y Google Class, cómo manejar la página electrónica de Google Class para enseñarles a ustedes también cómo los alumnos manejan esa página para que ustedes como padres les puedan ayudar.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Walker and Mrs. King. We appreciate your time coming on here and showing us Zoom and Meet.
Muchas gracias a la señorita King y a la señorita Walker por el tiempo que nos dieron aquí ayudándonos a enseñarles cómo usar esos dos programas.
And Mr. Bell for his lovely translations that I'm jealous of.
Para servir.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And if you do have questions, feel free to contact us via phone or through email.
Muchas gracias a todas las familias que nos están apoyando. Los necesitamos a ustedes, nos necesitamos todos, ¿no? Y los apreciamos. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We need each other in these times. Please keep supporting us. Keep following us. Thank you for everything you do with our kiddos out there. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night. We look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow and Wednesday.
Awesome.